Welcome back to another episode of the 4Q podcast. My name is Sheena Shui, and today we're going to ask the kind of controversial question of, is business ownership the secret to cracking the code on better mental health? Now, I absolutely know that there are some business owners who are listening to this who are going to laugh at that statement because they've set their businesses up incorrectly. That's the harsh truth. The harsh truth is that if your business is giving you poor mental health, the business has been set up incorrectly, and there's a really good chance that you've not done the personal work on yourself to have the boundaries that you need to be successful and chilled out in business. You haven't delegated, you haven't automated, you haven't done those things because of a fear of letting go or perfectionism, which we can tease into another time. But I really want to get into business ownership as a cheat code for better mental health. What do I actually mean by this? And why do I think that that's possible? So, I think that the 40-hour work week that most people live, and you might be listening to this and you don't own a business, haven't even started a business, but I want you to think about how could you use your skill set to start a side hustle or a business? Because honestly, mental health, particularly around burnout as well, is very much tied to how much control you have in your work. And this goes back hundreds of years. Marx even talked about, how when capitalism was first coming in, so the Industrial Revolution, how we lose our human essence, our Getungswesen, he called it, when we sell our labor, basically. So we don't have any control of the product that we're making. We don't have any control of the creativity in our work. We're literally just there to do the work. We've been asked to do a task, and we do the task over and over and over and over. And as you can imagine, that was based on factory workers back then. Because again, if you can imagine a factory worker working alongside a machine or a robot or something like that, it's monotonous. It's just, you might put the doors on the car all day, every day. You put the doors on the car, versus say a furniture. Let's say there's a business owner who runs furniture store. There's a big difference between someone who just puts doors on the car every single day and someone who builds furniture. They design a table, they build the table, they have pride in the table, they have creativity over the table, the materials used, like they have control over it. They might just say, I like to design the table, but I want to have a carpenter on my team who actually builds and creates it, and we work together. But you can already see how that person has much more control over what they're doing and how they're using their skills. So I don't care whether you're a teacher, whether you're a psychologist, whether you're an accountant. I absolutely guarantee that there are ways that you could use your skills that you have not even thought of yet. And this is why I love working with beginning business owners, or business owners who maybe you're already in business, you're already an accountant, you're already doing the thing, but you're doing what everyone else is doing. And I can guarantee you that there's such a better way that you could be using your skill set, your experience, your story to be helping people. And in turn, helping yourself with better mental health. Now, let's go back to the cheat code of why I think business ownership is the cheat code for better mental health as a society in general. So the reason that I think this as well is because business owners also have control of their daily schedule. Now, I know amongst my friends, there is a variety of schedules between us. One of my friends literally goes to bed at 5 a.m. every morning. She's an artist, but she has always been a night owl. She doesn't work well during the day. She doesn't really sleep well at night, so she sleeps best during the day. And so that's her, because she works for herself, she bases her schedule around her best working times. And the same is true for all of us. We all have natural rhythms that we work with. So even for me right now, I'm recording this podcast at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. And I set up my day accordingly because I am a morning person. I like to work out in the morning if I can. It doesn't always happen with my schedule with the kids, but if I can do things in the first half of the day before midday, I'm much better. That is my peak zone. So for me as a business owner, I do a lot of my work in the mornings. So I structure my schedule accordingly, and then I finish early because not only am I brain dead by 2 o'clock, but I'm setting my schedule up so that I have the afternoons with my children. I can pick them up from school. I can pick them up from daycare. We can go places. I can take them to sport. We can spend the afternoon together. I'm setting my schedule up in that way to make sure it's efficient like that. And I might do bursts where I have an hour or two of a burst and then I'll go work out. Then I have another hour or two of creativity and then I'll go, who knows, have a sauna, go for a walk. I love having a midday walk. It just feels so, that is what freedom is to me. It's just going for a clear, refreshing midday walk. And then more often than not, I get such good inspiration drop in when I'm just outside in the sunshine, just breathing the fresh air. I'm not really listening to anything on my midday walks, and I come back and I have amazing content ideas or amazing business ideas. I come back fresher. So tell me, would I have better mental health doing that or working in an organization where I'm rushing in the morning, I'm rushing in the afternoon to try to make sure I'm there for the hours that they tell me I have to be there for? Even though I could probably get the work that I need to get done in less hours, that's not how they pay me. They pay me to be there for a certain amount of hours, which is, it just is crazy to me, So let's say I work for an organization. As a business owner, if I could subcontract to that organization, right? I could say, I can do mental health reporting because I'm a therapist. So let's say I did, biopsychosocial assessments and I have to see 3 clients a day. I could invoice them for my output, which is report writing and 3 clients, versus a very trapping, very awful system that we do have now, where instead of paying people for the output that they can achieve, we buy their time. We trap them into the system with, you have to be here from 8:30 till 5, regardless of what your output is. You're just stuck here. And then you've got to rush home, get the kids, do this, do that, bath them, feed yourself, maybe get some self-care in, maybe spend some time together, maybe do the groceries, maybe work out. Good luck with that, right? Like, how is that conducive to good mental health? And then to exacerbate all of that, we live in a society now, particularly here in Australia, where we don't have the community basis anymore. We don't have extended family. Like, we are one of the most highly individualistic countries in the world. And what that means is we don't rely on each other. We don't help each other, and we don't feel the need to. And that's really damaging because, again, globally, we find that collectivist cultures, so thinking more Eastern cultures where it's much more community based and aunties, uncles, sisters, cousins, you've got that support network still. And then sadly, in some of those countries, it's slowly going more to a Western capitalistic kind of situation. But they have far better physical and mental health outcomes, even though they have far less resources, i.e. like money, healthcare, etc. They're just happier. Even in all of the blue zones across the world, and if you're not familiar with blue zones, go check it out. I think there's Netflix documentaries now all about it, where the people who live the longest in the world live. And because they live the longest, they generally have the best mental health and physical health, lower rates of depression, dementia, cancer, all of that. One of the key elements of all the global blue zones is community connection. We don't have that in Australia. We don't have community initiatives to connect each other. And even if we do, it's not aimed at everyone. It's very much aimed at maybe lower socioeconomic situations, that kind of thing. So we need to somehow be mindful of connecting with our friends, connecting with our family, offering help, accepting help, and realizing that we were never meant to do this alone. Even if you don't have kids, if you're working a 9 to 5, doing all the cooking, all the cleaning, all the errands, trying to look perfect, doing all of that, and you're not seeing friends or family daily, you're not out in nature every day, you're not having some sort of spiritual practice, and it doesn't need to be religious, it just needs to be something that connects you to something bigger than yourself, that's consistent in your life, that you have shared values around, that you even know your values, right? That is how we actually evolved. And biologically, if you look at anthropological studies, it's all there. But none of us live like that in Australia. But I think as a business owner, coming back to this, because as a business owner, again, if you set up your business correctly, you have time freedom, which means you can focus on getting all those other elements back into your life so that you're healthier, you're happier, you're more content, you're more aligned. You make better business decisions because you're clear. You're not making decisions from a place of anxiety, fear, burnout. You're not engaging in the daily news that, breeds propaganda and breeds this idea of how you're meant to feel about certain topics, right? So this is why I think being a business owner, if you do it correctly, which is what, I teach my mentees in the 20-hour Business Week Academy, is if you set your business up correctly where you have offers or services that have both passive and active parts, you have automations in place, because a lot of people go, I can't delegate it yet because I don't have money to pay someone. I guarantee that if you're making money in business, you definitely need to be paying someone to do the things outside of your zone of genius. But if you're not there yet, I remember those early days where people were like, oh, Sheena, you need a virtual assistant or you need an admin. And it's like, yeah, well, I need to make money first. So if you're there are absolutely automations that you can do. But the thing is that the acceleration comes from your coaching and mentoring too. I mean, I kick myself that I didn't just get the loan and put it on the credit card for the business coaches that I had, because every time I've hired a new business mentor, even the shit ones, I've accelerated. And don't get me wrong, I don't mean that they're shit. They're just not aligned with who I am. They get results for other people, I'm sure, just not for me. And that's the thing, is that because it's not just about the mentorship you're going to get, which is it is a huge part, but it's also, I'm serious. I am a business owner. It's that sunk cost fallacy of, if I put time, money, and energy into something, I'm going to take it more seriously and I'm going to actually go full bull on it. So again, coming back to business ownership being the cheat code for better mental health, you can align your day. If you're a morning person, structure your day as the morning. If you're an evening person, sleep in. Don't set your work schedule up to be in the morning when you're not a morning person. If your peak is after midday or after 2 o'clock, you can set your business and your lifestyle up to enhance that so you get the best out of yourself. And again, if you create innovative services or offers that nobody else is offering, that is where you can not only earn more, but work less, because you're the industry leader. You can charge more, which means the more you charge, the less clients you need to make your income goals. This is, again, all the stuff we're going to teach you and how to do it, because it's one thing to learn this. It's another thing to implement it. And that's what we do inside the Academy as well. But I'm curious about your thoughts on this topic today. And if I sparked anything in you of what could I be putting back into my day? So again, a key concept I sort of mentioned here is the anthropological studies of how human beings used to live in the blue zones. So whether you're a business owner or not, whether you haven't started, there are some key takeaways that you could put into your day to have better mental health. And those are trying to set your schedule so that you enhance your peak performance with your natural rhythm. So morning, afternoon, or evening person, try to work the most or the hardest during that time. Get outdoors in nature every single day. Try to do it without your phone or your headphones best you can, but make sure you get out there and be present. See some family and friends and don't talk shop. Just be with them, be present, look them in the eye. There is some incredible neurochemicals that release just from being around loved ones and looking each other in the eye. Our eyes are very sensitive, and so when they're the window to the soul. So doing that, having a value or spiritual practice, so that way when things happen in life, is this, you come back to, is this aligned with my values? How do I want to behave in this situation? Does that align with my values? What are the things that we make sense of? How do we make sense of life when things happen? Without that kind of meaning-making peace, that spiritual peace in your life, it's going to be difficult to try and remain optimistic or have shared experiences with people, because you don't have that basis of a shared connection. So really trying to find that best you can and have some daily practices that connect you to you. Some people, it's just going out in nature and being near the ocean. That's when they feel the most spiritual. Some people, it's journaling to themselves, and that's their kind of daily check-in practice. Some people, it is meditation. Don't force yourself to do something that's not aligned with you. If you hate journaling, don't do it. If meditation is actually exacerbating your anxiety, don't push it. But be mindful of what is working for you. All right, I hope that this gave you some wonderful ideas of how you could improve your mental health. And if you haven't started a business, maybe you're going, I have some ideas here. And of course, those business owners who are listening, come on over. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and let's connect, let's chat. And I've loved speaking to you, and I cannot wait in the coming months. This podcast is going to be on YouTube very, very soon, is with the video content. So not just the audio. We have the audio on YouTube, but we don't have the video content yet. That is coming. I've had all the tech issues in the world. We all know what it's like when a laptop dies, and that has happened to me. So there's a 3-week wait on laptops. It's driving me crazy, but it'll get here. So I cannot wait to share that with you, and I cannot wait for the next episode of the 4Q podcast. Thanks for being here, and bye for now.